chasing the stars, we'll stride into the dawn. Never back down till the battle is won. Face each foe with hearts brave and true, unafraid of the unknown, because I'll face it all with you.
Hello, I'm the Reviewer. I review you. This is my partner, Mr. It. Patreon request today, the Wrestling with Regret review of Scooby-Doo and WWE Curse of the Speed Demon.
This is Adiel O'Brien. You better recognize this. We are here live at WrestleCon 2017. Me. When you leave WrestleCon, you go home. You better watch Wrestling with Regrets, my boy Brian Zane.
I'm sure that endorsement means the world to someone who actually watches pro wrestling.
A talking dog?
Bizarre.
You know things are messed up when Goldust is the voice of reason.
I do?
By far the biggest departure from wrestling at this point in our gauntlet of cartoon reviews, the WWE superstars leave the ring and hit the dirt track in souped-up muscle cars. It's basically the same premise as Crush Hour, just without all the violent, explosive death.
Well, I mean, the night is still young.
Shaggy and Scooby are running a food truck during the event, showcasing the world's worst business practices by eating food that the customers order, then giving away the rest.
It's called tasting, and world-class chefs do it all the time. Side note, why did it take it this long for those two to get a food truck?
I should be studying about ancient Sumerian traps, but these high-tech race cars,
I find it both concerning and kind of fascinating that modern writers have given Fred this almost fetish for traps.
Like these DC pretzels are great. Wonder what the DC stands for.
It stands for Dead Man's Curve.
Or maybe it stands for the DC tie-in that happened in the last Scooby-Doo movie that went totally over my head. Thanks, comment section.
This is why it can be a good thing to read the comments. Sometimes.
The teams racing in the big event include Triple H and Stephanie, Paige and The Miz, Lana and Rusev, Los Matadores and El Torito, Sheamus, Goldust and Stardust, and The Undertaker and Dusty Rhodes.
Literally all I got out of that was Undertaker.
Again, literal Scooby-Doo villain. Mr. McMahon, you institutionalized your own wife after asking for a divorce, had her drugged up to the gills so you could make out with Trish Stratus in front of her, then you kicked Trish to the curb and made her bark like a dog in her underwear?
I would've got away with it.
Sorry, no talking for you. That's fucked up.
I feel the need to say something about this, yet I have no words.
Rust in peace.
That was actually a pretty funny line. A point for them.
I mean, sure, if you like bad puns.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to leave, and I'm fully aware this may seem suspicious, but it's not.
Oh god, please let Vince be the villain here. I know it's a red herring, but come on, make this happen.
Actually, having the obvious red herring be the villain would be quite a twist for this franchise.
Team Taker is the last to cross the flaming bridge, pulling off a stunt that would make Vin Diesel scoff.
Actually, Fast and the Furious has become more cartoony than this literal cartoon.
Though it makes me laugh even more to think there'll be plenty of people watching this who have no idea that Goldust used to be an evil, androgynous, living Oscar statue who would go on to get Tourette's.
Check it out. Enchiladas with tuna fish, yogurt, and chocolate sauce.
Guys, you're high, not pregnant.
They are culinary geniuses, and you will respect them as such.
Our two heroes stumble upon Inferno meddling with the authorities' car. As they try to make their escape, we see a familiar face.
Who's awesome? I'm awesome. Who's awesome? I'm awesome.
I give up. Who is he?
It's the second day of the race as the vehicles get amphibious. All we need is for the cars to be able to fly, then this will turn into the Diddy Kong Racing sequel I never knew I wanted.
So, Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing transformed.
To create The Undertaker's Comedy Theater and Puppet Jubilee.
I got nothing.
Oh, come on. That can't be any weirder than the rest of the WWE.
The other cars have had enough, as they all work together to try and take out the demon car.
It's almost as if they should have been doing that from the beginning.
Text the others. Maybe they'd like to join the fun.
Paige, don't give them your phone!
What, you want her to text the others? That's not safe.
But you saw this. An inflatable airbag dummy.
Well, I guess I shouldn't be too surprised. I mean, after all, this is the company that can make lifelike replicas of guys like Diesel, Heidenreich, and the Ortons on a week's notice.
The more I learn about the WWE, the less I wish I knew.
But hang on, if Stephanie was Inferno at that time, then who said this at the start of that race?
So long, suckers!
Technically, we never see her say that. It could have been just a speaker.
And why would the driver need to be replaced with a dummy? Wouldn't it make more sense for the passenger to be Inferno?
I mean, that would take the heat off the driver, but because they switch places anyway, it doesn't really matter.
This review is fine. I'm once again reminded that this is a show by a wrestling fan for wrestling fans, as a lot of what's being talked about here makes little to no sense without any knowledge of the WWE. However, I did get a fair laugh out of hearing all the crazier stuff without context, so I guess there's that. Take it for what it is, I guess.
I'm the reviewer. Your bit, I review you.